Hello, welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at ReCappin Podcast.
Also, comment, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We would love to hear your ratings of the movies and shows we review.
Email us your audio file to recappingpodcast@gmail.com and we will play it during the show.
Or DM us on Instagram and we will post and read it on air.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Hey, Delora. How's it going today, sis?
Hey, Ashley. I'm out here trying to live my best life.
Best Black life. I know that's right. I am doing the same. I am about to travel back to see all my hometown folks, so I'm very excited about that.
Yay.
Not as excited about the weather that I'm seeing, but we're gonna make it.
It's a mixed bag, like good old Midwestern weather in March, I should specify.
I used to think I was obsessed with the weather, and then I realized it was strictly because of where I lived, and you didn't know what you were going to begin with in the morning versus what you were going to end with at the end of the day. So it's going to be good though, because I'm going to be indoors. I'm going to be cozy. I'm going to pull out my turtlenecks that I never get to wear. It's going to be fine. I can have to our recap, I can have some Diane Keaton moments. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, it is Thursday, which as usual is our headlines and hot topics episode. Yes, we will be talking about the Oscars, but give us a minute to get there. Okay. First up, we have some quick headlines with a continued throwback, I feel like, to the 90s in our lives with this Lindsay Lohan news. She is expecting her first bundle of joy. Lindsay announced this week, sharing a photo of a baby onesie labeled "coming soon" to her Instagram, and she captioned it with "We are blessed and excited." This is with her hubby, which I don't know where I've been because I didn't even realize she was married to Bader Shamus since last year. In the article I'm reading from Yahoo Entertainment, it does say that they've kept their union quiet, which I was like, that makes sense, or either I just haven't been paying attention. But they were first linked in early 2020, and it seems like she's in love and happy and living her best life. She said, "It's amazing. I'm really lucky I found my partner. He's an amazing man, and we are a great team." She mentioned that in a November interview on GMA. So, Delora, what were your thoughts when the news was announced?
Oh, I was super excited. I love this for her. Being a child of the early 2000s, we know all the shenanigans. You know what I mean? The dealings with the paparazzi, her relationship with Paris Hilton and Britney Spears. And so to see that she has come back from that and dancing in Ibiza to being a happily married woman with a baby on the way, I'm here for it. I love it. I'm so excited for her.
Well, I said it's still a throwback to the 90s because she'll always be the twins from The Parent Trap for me.
Of course.
And that was late 90s. And so it's just like, I've been rooting for Lindsay for a long time. Now, I do kind of it feels like it's two different people, like the child roles versus the adult she now is. But I've been rooting for her. I've wanted to see her make a comeback, even in her acting, because I always enjoyed her in her roles and thought she was talented. And obviously, life kind of got in the way a bit. But I'm really happy to see her seemingly happy and healthy and, you know, living her best life. So congratulations to Lindsay Lohan and her hubby. All right, Delora.
Absolutely. Oh, really quick for shady moments. Paris Hilton did comment on her Instagram post. She said, and I quote, "Congratulations, love. So happy for you. Welcome to the mommy club." Because I had to be nosy and find out, you know?
Well, very nice. Hopefully there's no bad blood. I know her ex Samantha Ronson also commented and just said, you know, happy for her, essentially. Always exciting to hear about a new baby. So I'm sure there's no bad blood between Lindsay and her old crew and folks. At least hopefully not. Let's move on to our second quick headline, Delora. This one you actually sent to me first, I think, this week, about Rachel Bilson and her sharing her intimacy issues, I guess is the headline CNN decided to go with.
I'm looking
And
at CNN too.
yeah, in an episode of her podcast, Broad Ideas, she was joined by comedian Whitney Cummings, and they talked about not being able to find satisfaction during sex. Whitney basically said she wasn't able to while she was on birth control, and so she hadn't been able to have an orgasm from sex till she was 40. And so then Rachel also responded, yeah, it didn't happen for me till I was 38. Isn't that crazy? And some internet chatter ensued because obviously she's had dating history. We know she was in a long-term relationship with Hayden Christensen from the Star Wars series. We know she was in a relationship with Bill Hader.
Yep.
And people just had their thoughts and their comments. But my question to you is, do you enjoy when celebrities open up about intimate moments in their life, or do you feel like this is an overshare?
That's a great question. At face value, I do believe it's an overshare simply because we know she has had some pretty high profile relationships. And so being into celebrity culture, pop culture, what have you, you start mathing, you know what I mean? And the math ain't mathing for Mr. Hayden Christensen.
Unfortunately not.
And she was also one of the actresses who Bill Hader has been in a relationship with to confirm his assets. So I say all that to say, I am going to also give her grace. And I also think it's worth having this conversation as women, because I think it's possible for some women not to experience the maximum of their sexual selves, beings, what have you, until a later time, because you have to learn yourself, and our bodies are constantly changing, and we become unafraid of knowing what we like and what we don't like. And sometimes that takes time.
Yeah. And they did specify in this article, or at least I feel like not even just in this article, but in the conversation, Rachel kind of specified she was meaning penetration, dick to vagina, sorry kids, sexual intimacy. And that is very common actually amongst women.
Yes.
So I don't
and
think
sometimes you got to learn tricks and tips that you don't learn until
because
a little bit later.
Let's be honest, a lot of times women's pleasure is not at the forefront of the pleasure conversation.
That's if you have a sucky partner. Absolutely.
Oh, even just honestly, societally, I don't know if women's pleasure is prioritized, but I don't know. That's a rabbit hole.
It really takes, honestly, in some cases, I'll say it for me, like romance novels, like, because like if you go straight off of porn, it's through the male gaze, so you're not prioritizing.
Well, there are more maybe now than there ever was porn videos that are available that are from the female gaze, that are directed, created by women, all of that, which is wonderful.
In our lifetime.
I know. That's why I said now more than ever.
Growing up,
yes, which is wonderful.
We didn't have that luxury or vantage point.
Let me say this real quick, that initially when you sent this to me, I was like, Hayden Christensen somewhere punching the air, right? Like,
absolutely.
It does feel
and it had me
like
rolling.
It could be shady towards your ex, who you had a whole baby with, that you're saying he never gave you an orgasm with his peen. Like, that would feel like a moment if I were that person. But I think when I read this article and subsequently saw that she was saying, she wants her podcast to be a safe space, and she feels like it's good to be transparent for people who are going through similar things. Like I said, and we both talked about, this is a fairly common issue for women. Absolutely. And that probably a lot of women don't talk about. So maybe if you do hear your favorite celebrity or somebody you grew up with saying things like this, it's easier than for you to be open about your own journey sexually. And the whole conversation of some people, it doesn't happen until after they have kids. And to your point, the body changes. And that's another reason why I always say I'm not even in my prime yet, because sexual prime for a woman.
Yes, that is what I am saying, because it is not only hormonally, right? But again, the confidence, the knowing, the wisdom,
the trying some things.
Exactly.
To your point, romance novels, 50 Shades of Grey cracked open many a woman's
many
sexual
women
desires.
Exactly. And it's crappy writing now we look back at it, but it did something. It was
The
a
writing got redundant.
cultural moment.
Well, I guess too, sometimes you don't know what you're not exposed to yet, right?
Correct.
And that comes with time and experience. So I didn't know I liked some BDSM, to be honest with y'all, till 50 Shades. I was like, hold on, a whip don't sound too bad. You know what I'm saying? But I think that if it does help women to share this type of information, I do think that that's great. I also thought about, at least it's not quite as bad as when DJ Envy's wife said she hadn't had an orgasm period in like 11 years.
I thought it was like, yeah.
After all them kids.
What was the point?
And he's, I guess, known to be like a serial cheater. That was a hard
together
one.
Since they were like 15, 16 years old.
I've seen the teen pics. Oof. That was a rough one. You still married to that man, right? Like that was rough. So I guess in this case,
and again,
it's a little bit better, a little easier
by
to swallow.
her admitting that, she could probably provide, some insights that someone who, again, would never tell someone, or to your point, she's trying to create a safe space. Girl talk. Let's do more of it. I'm here for it.
Absolutely. Some of these headlines are funny, just salacious clickbait. Like the page 6 headline, Rachel Bilson didn't orgasm from sex until she was 38. That's not accurate. She's specifically talking about something. We didn't get that deep, or I guess maybe Hayden didn't. But Lord. Let me move on. All right. This one upsets me to have to even speak about. Roach, famed celebrity stylist, has announced on Instagram that he is retiring. Comes on the heels 2 days after the Oscars. In his post, he said, "My cup is empty. Thank you to everyone who supported me in my career over the years. Every person that trusted me with their image, I'm so grateful for you all. If this business was just about clothes, I would do it for the rest of my life, but unfortunately, it's not. The politics, the lies, and false narratives finally got me. You win, I'm out." Delora, Roach is stylist of stylists at this point. His roster includes Kerry Washington, Megan Thee Stallion, most notably Zendaya.
Yep, Celine Dion.
I was shocked. I was shocked and stunned. And I'm not even the biggest fashion industry watcher, right? What were your thoughts on Roach's retirement announcement?
My thoughts currently, I don't believe it. I think he is going through a hard time and he's stating that he's retiring, but he'll be back. I cannot see him retiring now. Like, there's a lot of speculation that he's retiring because of a front row snub at Paris Fashion Week, literally a couple of weeks ago. And he claims it's not about that, but I don't know. He's also been very adamant about his relationship with Zendaya is solid. He claims that she is his sister. They are blood, and there's no way that she has anything to do with this decision.
Okay, because I've definitely read the speculation about, is this because she's about to be ambassador for Louis Vuitton and he got cut out of the deal and all this and that?
Well, yeah. No, I don't believe it.
I'm like, not my girl Z. Not
No,
my girl Z.
I didn't go to Zendaya though at all, but I did think like his relationships with probably some of these designers, it probably didn't go the way he wanted it to do, to be, and it was like, oh, I'm over. He's also notably has fashion Ariana Grande. Like, his roster is glorious and iconic, and I adore him from Legendary. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I look forward to seeing you at the next fashion show, Law, because I refuse to believe it.
Well, you had all the celebs in the comments, right? Saying, no, this can't be,
My
yada, yada,
favorite,
yada.
my favorite is from the editor-in-chief of British Vogue, the talented Edward. He's like, you always got a spot over here, and Edward is out here killing the game. Beyonce don't even come to American Vogue because of what Edward is doing for British Vogue. So
I don't think he'll be hurting for any opportunity if he really does want to retire from being a
agreed.
stylist, even if maybe he wants to go the route of design, which
Yes,
might be where his heart is leading him to.
absolutely. I mean, he's done it already. Like Zendaya's collaboration with Tommy Hilfiger, Law was right there. Like he has the experience, he has the talent, the caliber, the respect. Well, the perceived respect, I should say, considering um the motivation for this message in the first place. But
I don't want to believe it because he turns out my favorite looks
easy,
on red carpets.
hands
He
down.
has the girls and guys that I look forward to seeing. Between him and Jason,
Well, and
it's undeniable.
Waymond and Micah, like the things they have done with Regina King and what they do
Oh
currently
yeah,
with
Regina
Jody,
King is usually a showstopper.
Jody, Joshua Jackson's wife.
Jodie Turner Smith, maybe.
Yes, there we go. Fire. Fire, fire, fire. Like those are my three. You know I love fashion, but those are the main stylists I follow. Three black, well, it's a total of four black men because Wayman and Mike are two. They're a duo, but still, they have the game unlocked. And so to have Law not be a part of this, it's not a trifecta. What
This fabulous foursome of celebrity stylists.
exactly. He's
Yeah.
going to be missed and we're not going to tolerate it, period. He has elevated Kerry Washington, who's a friend of the pod, but let's keep it real. Since Kerry has been working with him, I have loved her looks.
She wore a throwback Whitney Houston dress. So, I
She
about
sure did.
died. I about died over
She
that
sure
look.
did.
She looked gorgeous. But no, I mean, every collaboration I see him in, again, whenever he starts styling somebody, we even talked about Venus Williams. You're like, oh, you know why you love what she's wearing now? Law
Yes.
Roach took over. And I'm like, it's undeniable talent. It's undeniable great relationships that he clearly has with his clients that, they trust his vision and their vision that they end up having together. I mean, he's been styling Zendaya since 2014.
She's his day one. That's why I highly doubt it was her, but still.
I'm sorry, 2011, even further back.
When she made her transition from a Disney darling to box office.
She was 14. And now Zendaya is the red carpet moment when she's coming that everybody is waiting for.
We didn't even really talk about it. I mean, when Zendaya walked the NAACP, she hadn't done a red carpet in a minute, and it was a breath of fresh air. Her and that wonderful press out she had going on.
Right. Between the dress, the new cut that we hadn't got a chance to really see blowing in the wind, fabulous. The poses, the undeniability of how she hits that carpet every time with them long limbs.
Period. Serve.
So for the greater good of fashion, pop culture, and just our love of Black people, we do not accept this retirement announcement. I think that's the consensus of the podcast. So, all right. Well, let's move on to our hot topic of the day. And that is these 2023 Oscars. Now, I'm going to start off saying off top, I ain't watched this telecast this year.
I did.
And what's funny is it's not like it was even a thought out thing. I remember even thinking the week of, oh yeah, the Oscars are coming up this weekend. The Oscars are coming up. But I had a long appointment and then I had a dinner. And I was like, you know what? I'm not rushing home to watch the Oscars. And then I got home and I still didn't turn on the TV. So I was like, you know what? Clearly there's something in my spirit that said I need to be sitting at home, not watching this like I know Will Smith ain't doing this year either. So when I heard and saw that Angela Bassett didn't win that damn Oscar, I said, oh, see, that's why. My spirit was protecting me from the level of disappointment and rage I was going to feel had I witnessed that live. So I just want to get that off my chest real quick from the top so that we can enjoy this conversation, because I have since obviously seen the winners list, seen all the red carpet, and super happy for Everything Everywhere All at Once for their sweep of the major categories of the night. So Delora, let's start off with the fashion, darling. Who are your favorites at the Oscars?
That's a great question. I really loved Janelle Monáe and Vera Wang, because can we just talk about Janelle Monáe's body? It is sickening. Like her looks, it's like when she shows up, I'm like, oh, this bitch.
I read the comments, we were like, she been hiding that body behind suits all
I know,
years.
tuxedos. Selma Hayek in Gucci.
I love that her daughter did that throwback dress.
Yes.
So cute.
So cute. It's kind of hard when talking about Oscar fashion, because sometimes the Vanity Fair looks are like better.
I feel like the theme of Vanity Fair was tits. Like, was it just me?
It was see-through.
Okay, because I was I'm seeing everybody's boobs tonight. Everybody looks really good.
Cara Delevingne has made a return, because she's
on my list too. Yeah, she looked great.
Like $1 million.
That's what happened when you stop doing drugs. That's what happened when you stop doing drugs. She looks really, really good.
She reminded you that she was that bitch that made everybody grow out their eyebrows.
She's a model, baby. She's a model. And her dress had a pocket, which let's be honest, leg. All the gals love a dress with a pocket.
The Rock in Dolce & Gabbana, him in this peach suit jacket. I was like, yo, why have you been wearing this color your entire life, sir?
What's funny is every time I see The Rock, I think about my little cousin who's 5 foot nothing. Somehow she would climb him like a tree.
You know what? I've loved The Rock. It predates my current relationship, so I take no I hold nothing back when referring to him. Gorgeous. And then the final one I'll talk to for today, of course, is our very own Little Mermaid, Ariel, in Dolce & Gabbana. That color looked amazing. Her skin looked moisturized and gorgeous. Her hair, she's here. She's the moment. She's arrived.
I told you, it's something about Halle for me. I love both Chloe and Halle, but I feel like I want to be Halle's friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just like Chloe has undeniable talent, especially vocally. Like, my God, Chloe kills me, slays some runs. But there's something about the spirit of Halle that I just gravitate towards. I can't even explain it. She's just so sweet. And so she's wearing almost my favorite colors, like a sky blue, baby blue. She looks angelic. And it just matches her angelic little face. Like, I just love her so much. But anyway, she was on my list as well. My other tops, and this by no means, I thought really this was a great red carpet. I thought majority of folks looked fabulous this year. But Mindy freaking Kaling,
she's never looked better.
And Vera Wang.
Yeah. She's giving us waist, like peekaboo moment.
And
she's been looking good.
I know she has talked about this weight loss that she's had, but it's not that I think she looks any physically better having lost weight. For me, it's the glow. But it's also the glow. Like, you can tell she feels good about how she looks. You can tell she's happy when she's in some of these latest ensembles, right?
Yes.
Feeling good in her skin.
That fierceness comes out. You see it. Yes.
She looked phenomenal. I wanted to snatch that dress, though. Can I have that? You look great. And then you mentioned 2 that I already had. And so my last one is Emily Blunt in Valentino. It was so simple. It was just white. It had the sleeves off shoulder, but it was just perfection for me. Like, I'm an Emily Blunt fan, but her red carpet is hit and miss. This was a hit for me. I was digging it.
And I forgot Tim's looked amazing in that white gown.
She did, but she knows damn well she was blocking many of you. Y'all couldn't have gave her another dress to wear to sit at the ceremony so she wasn't blocking the people behind
She
her?
is an Oscar nominated
Sure.
performer, songwriter, what have you.
But Delora, if we had waited our whole lives to be sitting in that Oscars audience and we got sat behind Tim's that night, how would you feel? You would be upset. You'd be like, this.
Oh my gosh. And can we talk about Jonathan Majors? Like, so one of the things I actually recently had this conversation.
You mean with his white socks?
No, let me finish.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So the thing about him that we have to realize is he is a character actor. I say this because everybody's drooling over him now because his next 2 projects requires body yaddy yaddy. But when it's time for him to get fat and ugly, he will do so at a drop of a hat. When Sir walked in like he just left the set from some Clint Eastwood Western, what have you, with that mug in hand and those white socks, I'm like, oh, he wants to remind you, like, my entire life is not to be a sex symbol. I am not Michael B. Jordan. I am Jonathan Majors.
Okay.
And when I saw that, I was like, yep, I see what you're doing, sir. And that's okay. It was fun while it lasted.
Well, I did really enjoy the post that E-Man posted about this is who he's going to tell his kids is Sherlock and Watson. I was like, check. That is so accurate. He definitely played into that very well with this ensemble. And, to your point, I think he is wanting to remind people that he takes his craft seriously. So,
but it's the mug
kudos.
On the red carpet.
I know.
Like, sir,
he's ready for his next performance.
Is it moonshine? What are we doing?
And it matched. So
it did.
Strategic.
It did. And I love Michael B. Jordan's look for Vanity Fair. I love the flower on the shoulder personally. So
again, everybody looked fabulous at that Vanity Fair Oscars party.
Are we gonna talk about Sierra and how Hotep Twitter has lost their damn
We can talk about that real quick before we get into Angela, because I wasn't going to talk about it just because I feel like the hoopla is one of those internet concoctions that people just want to have an opinion about something.
Yes.
Because the idea that everybody else has an opinion about what this woman wears and how her husband must feel when you see him standing
right
looking
there
and stunningly looking at his wife, clearly they're on the same page. Y'all want to talk about her being a Christian. Let's not Christians. Let's not get into that conversation. I'm just, there's just too much for me. And the internet sometimes just wants to have an opinion. So this wasn't what I was going to feed into. But what were your thoughts about it?
I just wanted to say she wasn't the only one that had see-through outfits. Now, I knew people were going to say something because she is Sierra, right? Like, but she was Sierra. Did you see the body?
This woman has had 3 children. Okay.
Moment. I applaud her. And honestly,
Sierra
Riri walked so Sierra could run.
Yeah, because she definitely wore it better. Sorry.
You think so?
I love Rihanna.
I remember having this conversation with you, Ashley, and you were completely and utterly not here for Rihanna's outfit.
No,
when she did that in that moment.
No, because I did not like just the complete exposure of the nipples. I did not like the panty color. I did not like the overall look to me. Just I didn't gravitate towards it. I feel like Sierra's look, while still very exposed in terms of you just got on a thong and then this see-through, it's just I like the way that it's cut better. I think it looks more flattering.
You said Sierra's better than Rihanna.
I think Sierra's...
I thought you said Rihanna wore it better. No, Sierra, I prefer. Everything is cute and tasteful. Now, is it risque? Heck yeah. But again, Russ be out here asking her to have another baby. So
And that's his wife. Y'all gotta let this ish go.
Exactly.
That is that man's wife. Let him determine how he feels about it instead of y'all inserting y'all opinions. Everybody got an
And then
opinion.
that shows their level of insecurity. He is
Indeed.
A-okay.
You know what he's like? That's my wife. That's what he's on there thinking. That's my wife.
That's why I'm one of the highest paid in the NFL, because
Ain't got no
I go
cares or
home to her.
concerns. He was just like Diddy after the Oscars when J-Lo wore that one dress. He was like, I ain't know how long it took her to put it on, but I know it ain't taking me no time to get it off of her. Remember that? That was Russell.
The Grammys.
The Grammys. I said the Oscars. The Grammys. Yeah, the infamous Grammys dress that J-Lo wore. Yeah. That's the energy I feel like
Versace.
Russell was on. But yeah, no,
Yep.
I'm sorry. To clarify, I definitely thought Sierra wore it better, not to pit those two beautiful women against each other. But yeah, I did not love that Rihanna look. Anyway, let's move on to Miss Angela Bassett. As I mentioned at the top, I was very disappointed that she did not win Best Supporting Actress for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We talked about it on the mic, thought it was a shoe-in. Jamie Lee Curtis had won an award or two. I thought that was just, let's not let Angela sweep everything.
So for me, if Angela was going to lose the Oscar, it would have been to Stephanie and not to
Agreed.
Jamie Lee.
Agreed.
And that's coming from a person who's watched their performance in both movies. We recapped both.
Now, granted, I raved about Jamie Lee Curtis' turn and Everything Everywhere All at Once because I did think it was a spectacular performance because I had never seen her in a role like this.
Correct.
But it stops there.
Period. Stephanie, she put in the work.
Yes,
she was
did.
fabulous in that movie.
Yes.
And so for me, if it was going to be anyone from that movie, it should have been her. But I feel like politics played a major role in it. I feel like the Oscars was not ready to give a superhero movie any actual hardware. Like, it was a big deal when Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture, and she was the absolute first person from an MCU movie to be nominated in an acting category. Well deserved, of course. But I also feel like the Nepo baby situation came into play. I do. And
I'm smiling because her speech to me even fed into that, where you talk about your mom and dad getting nominated. You think that's what people who came from absolutely nothing want to hear?
Not at all.
Had no connections and still made their way into Hollywood?
And again, Jamie Lee has been an ally. So
I'm not no beef with Jamie Lee Curtis.
I don't have any, exactly. Like, I'm not saying this to be nasty. I'm just saying this to be like, let's look at what we're actually dealing with.
Let's also give air to the fact that this was just Everything Everywhere All at Once's moment.
Yes.
Right? They swept the major categories with the exception of Best Actor, only because they didn't have anyone nominated in that category.
Absolutely.
Guarantee you, if they did, they would have got that one too.
It's the most awarded movie, I believe, of all time.
6 or 7. They won 6 or 7.
I believe 7.
They won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Writing, and Best Film Editing.
Editing, yes. And Sir probably got that Oscar alone from that that sequence of all of
all
Michelle
the different variations.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, editing I totally understood because the way that movie was,
it was important,
complicated.
Exactly. I told you in the recap, I'm like, this was a mind fuck, and it's not for everyone. I will say that too. It's the most awarded and was phenomenal in the sense of its originality. But there were moments where I was like, what am I watching?
One of my friends that I went and saw with tried to remind me that when we left the theater, I said I thought it was weird. I was like, I don't think you understood that me saying it was weird did not mean I thought it was bad. I was digesting, processing what I had seen. I have raved about this film since I saw it the first time because it was so different. But it was heartfelt, like we talked about when we did the recap. I don't need to relitigate what we were talking about in the recap. But what do you think about this backlash that Angela has been receiving about her not clapping or standing when it was announced that Jamie Lee Curtis won, and everyone saying that it was obviously visible that she was disappointed.
Angela Bassett is allowed to feel her feelings and process them in the time it takes her to process. Just because she didn't do what you think she should have done does not mean what she did was wrong. I don't think she was a sore loser or anything along those lines. I think she was shocked. And so was her husband. People this entire award season said this was hers, this was hers, it was her time. I said it. You know what I mean? So
We all said it.
she was shocked, period, point blank.
Yeah.
She didn't leave like Eddie Murphy did when he lost.
Yeah.
She stayed the whole time. She took pictures.
She didn't say fuck like Samuel L. Jackson did when he lost back in the day. Or shit,
She
whichever.
stayed long enough to hold hands with Austin Butler during his category. She was there to celebrate Michelle Yeoh's win. Let this woman process.
I think you said it perfectly, Delora. I don't really have anything else to add. I mean, they are actors, but allow them their human moments. I think she still handled it with grace.
Yes.
And let that be that. I don't think it needed to seemingly be this ongoing conversation. I did want to say real quick in this article I'm reading from Entertainment Weekly that Everything Everywhere All at Once did earn 7 Oscars, but it's the first time that a movie has been this awarded in 14 years, because Slumdog Millionaire won 8. Yes. Back in 2008. So
that's right. And I loved that movie.
That was such a good movie.
So good. Talk about heartfelt as well. That was good.
Yeah. So how'd you feel about your boy Brendan Fraser taking it for the whale?
Protect him at all cost. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I watched it live. His whale metaphors and his speech was just a tiny bit too much for me. But he genuinely seemed shocked. And to be fair, throughout the entire award season, it was between him and Austin.
Correct.
And so the fact that he was able to win, it just brought me so much joy.
The Renaissance again.
I love it. I love
as people are calling it.
The Mummy is one of my favorite movies, like the original trilogy. One of my favorite movies. And he's such an endearing actor, and the fact that didn't leave, like I still have these same feelings even though he's been away for forever. He's even different than how we grew to know him. I'm just so proud of him.
Yeah, so congratulations again, not take anything away from Jamie or anybody else who's won. Congratulations to Everything Everywhere All at Once for this incredible award season that they've had, because the Oscars are the end of the award season for us. Yes. And Michelle Yeoh becoming the first Asian woman to win Best Actress is also, an amazing accomplishment. So I do want to take a minute to just congratulate everybody. Key had the speech that when I saw the clips, obviously was really touching. He's been so grateful and emotional throughout, but I think him talking more about his journey getting to the US and all of that just added some layers for me. And he's just sweetheart. He's
absolutely.
Sweetheart.
I screamed and jumped up and down because I was so excited when he won. And no, he didn't need to thank Steven Spielberg or Harrison Ford in his Oscar-winning speech, because why? We're in the now, and he's in this movie with the Daniels and A24 studio productions. Like, I don't know. I'm really, really excited and happy for him. And when Michelle Yeoh said the thing about don't ever let anyone tell you that you're past your prime, I'm like, sis, I need to print this and put it on my wall. We had this conversation, I think, just last week.
Yes.
Like, there's still more to come. The best is yet to come.
There's so much more to come. And I think hearing someone of Michelle Yeoh's caliber say that, because it's always surprising. Even J-Lo talked about this in her documentary, and we spoke about it during our recap of that.
Yes.
These women who are so accomplished, and they reach certain ages and people start to try to diminish their shine or try to say, oh, but aren't you supposed to be kind of on the way out?
Right.
You've had these moments. Now it's time for you. As J-Lo said, I'm only just beginning. So I hope I get to feel like this for the rest of my life. No matter what
Absolutely.
age I reach. Even Judge Judy has said it. If you didn't do it when you were 30, do it at 40. If you didn't do it when you were
Yes.
40, do it at 50. If you didn't do it at 70, do it at
Yes.
80. My life isn't over till it's over. So thank you, Michelle.
Absolutely. You know, I'm also reminded of a lesson that took me way too long to learn is you tell people who you are. You don't wait for them to tell you who you are
Mm-hmm.
because who are they? We have the power to tell people the best is yet to come. I still got more. I'm the best. Michelle Yeoh has been in the business for a very, very long time. And to see her just keep going, like that persistence, that resiliency, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love how in Malaysia, her mom was dressed up like she was the queen. Her
Her
daughter's name was,
same mama who had such a big hand in forcing her to do certain things in her youth.
yes, like pageants.
Yes.
So I love it. It's heartwarming. For the most part, it did make me smile. And Jimmy Kimmel did a pretty good job.
I heard that. That's
I
good.
thought the things that he did make reference to in terms of the V slap wasn't bad and quite funny in some cases. But I'm not gonna lie, if they were gonna spend most of the show talking about the slap, I would not have enjoyed it at all because I'm kind of over it.
It's definitely played out a whole year later. All the jokes have been had. Chris Rock has now said his piece. It's done. It's done. Well, that is the end of the award season. And also, that is the end of this episode. So, Delora, what are we recapping for the people on Tuesday?
All right, Ashley, we are recapping a series. It is brand spanking new, available on Hulu under the Onyx Collective, Unprisoned, starring Kerry Washington and the Delroy Lindo.
Very, very nice. This is literally brand spanking new. I think it dropped last Friday. So if you guys have
Sure did.
not watched it yet, take a little time, 8 half-hour episodes. Come back and see us. We'll be here. Delora,
Yes.
thank you so much as always, my friend.
Thank you, Ashley.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Be blessed.
Bye.